Tri-tip is arguably one of the most flavorful pieces of meat on the cow. They're called tri-tip. They come in a triangular shape, and there are 3 tips. Today we're gonna do a little bit of soy sauce, some hardcore carnivore black beef seasoning, salt and pepper, real easy. Tri-tip is like a staple in California. So in the bowl, about 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. We're gonna sprinkle a little bit of salt on one side, about a tablespoon each. So about a teaspoon and a half on either side. Clean hand, dirty hand. Flip. Put that right there. Whatever, we're gonna clean the cutting board after. One more salt, one more pepper, and a little more salt. Next, black seasoning. So this is a mixture of, I saw the ingredients on here at some point. Sea salt, garlic, sugar, black pepper, chili powder, onion, and activated charcoal. So there's activated charcoal in there just to give it some color. So we're just gonna sprinkle it on. Give it a nice pat down. So that was about, say, 2 tablespoons on one side. Do about 2 tablespoons on the other. There we go. Now we're gonna let this sit and chill for like 20 minutes. Let some of that stuff absorb while we get our oven ready. We're gonna preheat our oven to 275. So what we're gonna do on this is called a reverse sear. We're going to not sear the meat first. We're going to put it in the oven, cook it at 275. We need a probe thermometer to make sure it comes out perfect. We're shooting for about 128, 130 degrees on this. We want this guy to be medium rare to medium, no more than that. Anything beyond medium is gonna be complete shoe leather with this cut of meat. Now we're gonna take our beef here, and we're gonna put it on a roasting rack and put that into the oven so that all sides get hit with heat. I have it set to 275 with no fan. Our tongs here has released a little bit of liquid. There's our meat right in the center. And now this is gonna go in the oven for about 40 minutes at 275. At 40 minutes, we're gonna check with our probe thermometer and go from there. All right, my timer went off. And now let's pull it out of the oven. Pull out our handy instant read probe thermometer. All right, so that's 40 minutes at 275. It's a little under. So we're going to go in for another about 10 minutes at 275 still. All right, tri-tip went in for another 10 minutes. So went for 50 minutes total. Let's see where we're at. Perfect. We just hit 128 degrees. All right, we're gonna start with a little bit of grapeseed oil. Going on medium-high heat. Hot pan going in. There we go. We're gonna let it go for 2 minutes on each side. All right, let's give it a flip. Oh yeah. Now, the beautiful thing about that rub that we use, which is the black seasoning by Hardcore Carnivore, that little bit of activated charcoal in it is gonna give this a really nice dark black crust on it, almost like as if it was barbecued. All right, let's hit the sides. We're gonna turn our heat down to medium. We're gonna pull our steak out, let that rest. We're gonna make a little pan sauce with some Worcestershire sauce. About a 1/4 cup. Non-stick spat. We'll scrape up all of that goodness on the bottom there. And we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of the black steak seasoning. This sauce is gonna take about 10 minutes to make, which is about the perfect amount of time that we need for our steak to rest before slicing into it. The final step to our sauce, we're gonna take a tablespoon of butter, turn off the heat, drop it in, and stir until it's fully incorporated. Let's grab our plate. This guy's been resting for about 15 minutes. Pull out my slicer. So tri-tip is kind of difficult to slice sometimes. You got grain going this way, you got grain going this way, you got grain going this way. So we're gonna start at this end where I can see the grain is going this way. You always want to cut against the grain to help tenderize the meat. Now the grains are gonna start turning just a little bit, so we're gonna twist a little, cut a little snacky off, and then continue down. Now we're gonna finish with that black steak seasoning that we made with Worcester. Look at that color. Let's try a little snacky. Let's cut a little piece off just with the rub, a little bit of its own juices. Delicious. Perfect. The black steak seasoning gives it this almost barbecue-y nature to it without having to smoke anything. A little sauce on there. The Worcestershire sauce gives it this nice like umami flavor to it. A little bit of saltiness. Also a little bit of vinegariness, that like acidity. Finishing the sauce with that butter gives that extra richness and fatness. The tri-tip is an excellent, affordable cut of meat that more people should be enjoying.